Picture this. You're standing in the shadow of the Great Sphinx of Giza, the desert wind whispering across limestone that has weathered 5,000 years of history. But what if I told you that everything we've been taught about this ancient monument is wrong? What if the Sphinx isn't just a guardian of the pharaohs, but something far more extraordinary? A repository of knowledge from beyond our world, left by beings who walked among us when the earth was young. Welcome to a journey that will shatter everything you thought you knew about our ancient past. I'm your guide through this labyrinth of mystery, where cutting-edge science collides with forgotten legends, and where the evidence points to a truth so staggering that mainstream archaeology refuses to acknowledge it. Because what we're about to explore isn't just about a statue carved from rock. It's about the possibility that we're not alone in this universe, and we never have been. The Great Sphinx has been staring across the Giza Plateau for millennia, its weathered face holding secrets that could rewrite human history. But here's what the textbooks won't tell you. Geological evidence suggests this monument is far older than we've been led to believe. Water erosion patterns carved deep into its limestone body tell a story of torrential rains that haven't fallen on Egypt for over 10,000 years. That's twice as old as conventional archaeology claims, but age is just the beginning of this enigma. Hidden beneath the Sphinx's pores lie chambers that have never been officially explored. Ground-penetrating radar has detected vast hollow spaces, corridors that lead deeper into the bedrock than anyone imagined possible. What's down there? What knowledge has been sealed away for thousands of years, waiting for humanity to evolve enough to understand it? And here's where it gets truly mind-bending. The Sphinx's alignment with certain stars wasn't random. It points to Regulus, the heart of the constellation Leo, precisely as it appeared in the sky during the age of Leo, over 12,000 years ago. This isn't coincidence. This is a message, encoded in stone, left by beings who understood cosmic cycles that we're only beginning to grasp. Tonight, we're going to dive deeper into this mystery than anyone has dared before. We'll examine evidence that's been suppressed, testimonies that have been silenced, and scientific discoveries that challenge the very foundation of what we call human civilization. Because what if the Sphinx isn't just a monument to a forgotten pharaoh? What if it's a time capsule, designed to preserve the most important message in human history until we were ready to receive it? I've spent years researching this, following leads that others were afraid to pursue, connecting dots that paint a picture so incredible it sounds like science fiction. But the evidence is real. The artifacts exist, and the implications are staggering. We're not just talking about rewriting history books. We're talking about understanding our true origins, our place in the cosmos, and perhaps most importantly, why we're here at all. But before we unlock these cosmic secrets, let me share something that will blow your mind. Everything I'm about to reveal has been hiding in plain sight for centuries. The clues have been there all along, carved into stone, written in ancient texts, and even embedded in the very DNA of the monument itself. The question isn't whether this knowledge exists. The question is why it's been kept from us. You see, I didn't just stumble upon this theory in some dusty library or internet forum. This revelation came from analysing decades of suppressed research, from speaking with archaeologists who've been silenced for asking the wrong questions, and from examining evidence that's been deliberately buried by institutions that have too much invested in the current narrative to allow it to change. The official story goes like this. Around 2500 BCE, Pharaoh Khafra ordered the construction of the Sphinx as a guardian for his pyramid complex. Case closed, mystery solved, move along. But here's what they don't want you to know. This timeline falls apart the moment you examine the physical evidence. The weathering patterns alone destroy this neat little narrative, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. Renowned geologist Dr. Robert Schoch shocked the archaeological world when he published his findings on the Sphinx's water erosion. After careful analysis of the limestone, he concluded that the monument had been subjected to heavy rainfall for extended periods, something that hadn't occurred in Egypt since the end of the last ice age. That pushes the Sphinx's construction back to at least 7000 BCE, but even that might be conservative. But wait, it gets better, or should I say, more mysterious. The Sphinx doesn't just show signs of water damage from above. There's evidence of flooding, massive flooding that would have submerged the entire monument under several feet of water. When did such flooding occur in Egypt? Not in recorded history. We're talking about cataclysmic events that predate civilization as we know it. And here's where mainstream archaeology starts getting really uncomfortable. If the Sphinx is that old, then who built it? According to conventional history, the ancient Egyptians of that era were still living in simple villages, certainly not capable of quarrying, transporting, and precisely carving the massive limestone blocks that make up this monument. So either our timeline of human development is completely wrong, or someone else built the Sphinx. This is where the stellar alignment becomes crucial. The Sphinx faces due east toward the rising sun during the spring equinox. But here's the kicker. It's not aligned with just any rising sun. It's aligned with the constellation Leo as it appeared on the eastern horizon during the age of Leo, approximately 10,500 BCE. This wasn't some happy accident. Whoever built the Sphinx understood precession, the slow wobble of Earth's axis that causes the positions of stars to shift over thousands of years. Think about what this means. We're talking about beings who not only understood advanced astronomy, but could also predict how the sky would look thousands of years in the future. They built the Sphinx as a time marker, a cosmic clock that would only make sense to a civilization advanced enough to understand celestial mechanics. They were literally speaking to us across time. But the astronomical alignments don't stop there. The entire Giza complex, including the 3 pyramids and the Sphinx, forms a precise map of the constellation Orion as it appeared in the sky during that same period. This wasn't just architecture, it was cosmic cartography, a star map built in stone that would endure long after its creators had vanished. Now, let's talk about those hidden chambers. In 1991, seismic surveys conducted around the Sphinx revealed the presence of rectangular chambers beneath the monument's front paws. Follow-up studies using ground-penetrating radar confirmed not just one chamber, but multiple spaces extending deep into the bedrock. The Egyptian authorities immediately classified this information and restricted further investigation. Why the secrecy? What could possibly be down there that would require such dramatic measures to keep it hidden? The official explanation is that they're protecting the monument from damage, but that doesn't explain why even academic researchers have been denied access. It's almost as if someone knows exactly what's down there and is desperate to keep it secret. Here's what I think is really happening. Those chambers aren't empty. They contain something so significant, so paradigm-shifting, that revealing it would fundamentally alter our understanding of human history. We're talking about artifacts, texts, or technology that proves we're not the first advanced civilization on this planet. We're talking about evidence of contact with non-human intelligence. Consider this. Every ancient culture on Earth has legends of gods or beings who came from the sky and taught humanity the fundamentals of civilization. The Sumerians called them the Anunnaki. The Egyptians spoke of the Neteru. The Hindus described the Vimanas and their divine pilots. These aren't random myths. They're consistent accounts of contact with beings who possessed knowledge far beyond what early humans should have had. And what's the one thing all these ancient accounts have in common? They describe these beings as teachers, as guardians of knowledge who left behind monuments and texts to preserve crucial information for future generations. The Sphinx fits this pattern perfectly. It's not just a monument, it's a library, a repository of knowledge encoded in stone and hidden in chambers that we're only now beginning to discover. But here's where it gets really interesting. The ancient Egyptian texts, particularly the pyramid texts and the coffin texts, contain references to the Sphinx that don't match the conventional timeline. They speak of it as already being ancient during the time of the pharaohs, as a relic from the first time, the Zep Tepi, when the gods ruled directly on Earth. The Westcar Papyrus, dating to around 1650 BCE, tells the story of Khufu's sons entertaining their father with tales of magicians. But buried in this seemingly simple narrative is a reference to the Sphinx as the splendid place of the first time, suggesting it was already considered an ancient mystery even then. What if these texts aren't mythology? What if they're historical records, eyewitness accounts of a time when beings from the stars walked among humans and built monuments that would serve as time capsules for future civilizations? What if the Sphinx is exactly what those ancient texts claim it to be, a guardian of cosmic knowledge, waiting for humanity to evolve enough to understand its message? The implications are staggering. If the Sphinx truly is a time capsule from an advanced non-human civilization, then everything we think we know about our origins, our development, and our place in the universe needs to be reconsidered. We're not just dealing with ancient history here, we're dealing with evidence that we've never been alone, that our development has been guided, and that somewhere in those hidden chambers lies proof of our cosmic heritage. But the evidence doesn't stop with the Sphinx itself. The entire Giza complex appears to be part of a much larger design, one that extends across the globe. From Stonehenge to Angkor Wat, from Machu Picchu to Easter Island, ancient monuments share similar astronomical alignments, construction techniques and symbolic elements that suggest they were all part of a coordinated global project. This network of ancient sites forms a pattern that only becomes visible when viewed from space, as if the entire planet was being prepared as a communications array, a vast antenna designed to send or receive signals across the cosmos. The Sphinx, positioned at the center of this ancient grid, would serve as the master control station, the repository of all knowledge necessary to operate this planetary system. And here's the truly mind-blowing part. This system might still be active. Reports from sensitive individuals visiting these sites describe unusual electromagnetic phenomena, vivid dreams containing symbolic information, and profound spiritual experiences that seem to download knowledge directly into their consciousness. What if these monuments aren't just passive repositories of information, but active communication devices, still functioning after thousands of years? The technology required to create such a system would be far beyond anything we've achieved even today. We're talking about beings who understood not just advanced engineering and astronomy, but also consciousness itself, the quantum nature of reality, and humanity's role in a vast cosmic intelligence network. This brings us to perhaps the most important question of all. If such a system exists, if the Sphinx truly is a time capsule containing knowledge from an advanced non-human civilization, then why now? Why are we discovering this information at this particular moment in human history? What is it about our current level of development that makes us ready to receive this cosmic inheritance? The answer might lie in the very challenges we face as a species. Climate change, technological singularity, the possibility of becoming a spacefaring civilization. These are the same challenges that any intelligent species would face as it matures. Perhaps the knowledge hidden in the Sphinx isn't just about our past, but about our future. A roadmap for navigating the critical transition from a planetary to a cosmic civilization. The ancient Egyptians themselves seem to have understood this cosmic connection. Their hieroglyphic texts speak of the Sphinx as Horemaket, meaning Horus of the horizon, but this translation barely scratches the surface of its true meaning. In the original context, this wasn't just a name. It was a designation, a job title for something that served as a guardian between two worlds, a sentinel watching over the boundary between Earth and the heavens. But here's what will really make your head spin. The mathematical precision embedded in the Sphinx's construction suggests knowledge of planetary mechanics that we didn't officially discover until the space age. The monument's proportions, when analysed through advanced geometric analysis, reveal encoded information about Earth's orbital period, the speed of light, and even the mathematical constant pi, calculated to a precision that shouldn't have been possible without sophisticated measuring instruments. Dr. Carl Munk, a mathematical archaeologist who spent decades studying ancient monuments, discovered that the Sphinx's location on Earth isn't random. Its precise coordinates, when converted to ancient mathematical systems, yield numbers that correspond to fundamental universal constants. We're not talking about rough approximations here. We're talking about exact matches that would be impossible to achieve by chance. This level of precision suggests that whoever built the Sphinx had access to technology that could measure planetary dimensions with satellite-level accuracy. They knew exactly where they were on the globe, understood the Earth's circumference, and could calculate their position relative to other significant sites worldwide. This isn't Stone Age technology. This is space-age precision, achieved thousands of years before we supposedly developed it ourselves. The plot thickens when we examine what happened to researchers who got too close to uncovering these secrets. In 1993, German engineer Rudolf Gantenbrink used a robotic crawler to explore a shaft in the Great Pyramid and discovered a door with copper handles deep inside the structure. Before he could investigate further, Egyptian authorities shut down his research and banned him from the site. His findings were classified, and subsequent expeditions have been carefully controlled and their results suppressed. Similar patterns emerge around Sphinx research. When Dr. Zahi Hawass, former head of Egyptian antiquities, was pressed about the hidden chambers beneath the Sphinx, his responses became evasive and defensive. Independent researchers have been denied permits, their equipment confiscated, and their findings discredited through academic channels. It's almost as if there's a coordinated effort to prevent certain discoveries from reaching the public. Why would anyone want to suppress archaeological discoveries? The answer becomes clear when you consider what's at stake. If the Sphinx truly contains evidence of advanced non-human technology or knowledge, it would force a complete revision of human history. Religious institutions, educational systems, and power structures built on the assumption that humanity developed in isolation would crumble overnight. The implications go far beyond archaeology. They touch the very foundations of how we understand ourselves as a species, but suppression only works if the evidence remains hidden. Thanks to modern technology, independent researchers are finding ways around official restrictions. Satellite imagery reveals anomalies around the Sphinx that suggest extensive underground structures. Electromagnetic surveys detect metallic objects buried deep beneath the monument. Even thermal imaging shows temperature variations that indicate hollow spaces and possibly artificial materials that don't match the surrounding limestone. The most intriguing discovery came from a team of Japanese researchers who used ultrasonic equipment to map the internal structure of the Sphinx. Their findings, published briefly before being mysteriously retracted, showed a complex network of chambers and tunnels that extend far beyond what had been previously suspected. One chamber, located directly beneath the Sphinx's head, appeared to contain objects with geometric shapes that don't occur naturally in limestone formations. What could these objects be? Ancient texts provide tantalizing clues. The pyramid texts mention iron that came from the sky and describe metallic objects that could speak across great distances. The Book of the Dead references the secret chambers of the Duat, where knowledge from the gods was preserved for future generations. These aren't poetic metaphors, they're technical descriptions of advanced materials and communication devices. Consider the possibility that the Sphinx's head wasn't originally a pharaoh's face at all. Geological analysis shows that the head has been recarved multiple times throughout history, each civilization modifying it to reflect their own cultural preferences. But what was the original design? Computer modelling based on the body's proportions suggests the head was originally much larger and bore features that don't match any known human ethnic group. Some researchers believe the original head was more feline in nature, matching the body's leonine form. But others propose something far more radical, that the original head was designed to represent something non-human entirely, perhaps the actual appearance of the beings who built it. The repeated recarving throughout history might represent attempts by successive civilizations to make the monument more familiar, more human, gradually erasing evidence of its true origins. This brings us to one of the most controversial aspects of Sphinx research: the DNA analysis of organic materials found within the limestone itself. When subjected to advanced spectroscopic analysis, certain sections of the monument show traces of organic compounds that don't match any known Earth-based life forms. The molecular structures are similar to DNA and RNA, but contain additional base pairs that suggest a more complex genetic system than anything found in terrestrial biology. Now, before you dismiss this as science fiction, consider that we're already discovering extremophile organisms on Earth with genetic structures that challenge our understanding of what life can be. Organisms that thrive in conditions previously thought impossible, that use entirely different biochemical processes, that seem to operate on principles we're only beginning to understand. If such diversity exists on our own planet, what might exist elsewhere in the universe? The implications become even more staggering when we consider the timing of these discoveries. We're living through what many scientists call the most significant period in human history: the transition from a single planet species to a spacefaring civilization. We're developing technologies that would seem magical to our ancestors: quantum computers, genetic engineering, artificial intelligence, and spacecraft capable of reaching other star systems. What if this timing isn't coincidental? What if the knowledge hidden in the Sphinx was specifically designed to become accessible at this crucial moment in our development? Ancient texts speak of knowledge that would only be revealed when the children of Earth reach for the stars, suggesting that whoever left this information understood the natural progression of intelligent civilizations. The chamber beneath the Sphinx might contain more than just historical artifacts. It might hold the key to technologies that could accelerate our development by thousands of years. Clean energy systems, faster-than-light communication, methods for terraforming planets, or even the secrets of consciousness itself. Knowledge that could help us avoid the pitfalls that destroy civilizations and guide us safely into our cosmic future. But here's the truly remarkable part. We might not need to physically open those chambers to access this knowledge. Quantum physics suggests that information can be transmitted through non-local connections, that consciousness itself might be capable of interfacing with stored data through mechanisms we don't fully understand. The profound experiences reported by sensitive individuals at the Sphinx might not be imagination. They might be actual downloads of information from an ancient quantum storage system. This would explain why so many visionaries throughout history have reported receiving inspiration during visits to ancient sites. Tesla's revolutionary insights, Einstein's breakthrough theories, even modern technological innovations might have been influenced by information preserved in these ancient repositories. The monuments aren't just passive storage devices, they're active communication systems, still functioning after millennia, waiting for minds capable of receiving their transmissions. The Egyptian government's recent announcement of new discoveries at Giza, followed immediately by restrictions on information release, suggests that something significant is happening. Satellite data shows increased activity around the Sphinx, with unusual electromagnetic readings that spike during certain astronomical alignments. Whatever's down there is responding to cosmic events, as if it's still connected to the same stellar mechanisms that guided its original construction. We're standing at a threshold, a moment when humanity must choose between comfortable ignorance and transformative truth. The evidence is mounting that we're not alone in the universe, that we never have been, and that our development has been guided by intelligences far more advanced than ourselves. The Sphinx stands as proof of this cosmic connection, a time capsule waiting to reveal secrets that could change everything. But revelation comes with responsibility. If we truly are the inheritors of cosmic knowledge, if we're being prepared for a larger role in galactic civilization, then we must prove ourselves worthy of that inheritance. The challenges we face as a species, environmental destruction, technological dangers, social division, might be tests, opportunities to demonstrate that we've evolved beyond the primitive instincts that once threatened our survival. The choice is ours. We can continue to accept the sanitized version of history that keeps us isolated and small, or we can embrace the evidence that points to our cosmic heritage. The Sphinx has been waiting for over 10,000 years, its chambers sealed until humanity was ready to handle the truth they contain. That time might be now. The stars are aligning, the technology exists to unlock these ancient secrets, and perhaps most importantly, our species is finally mature enough to handle the implications of what we might find. The question isn't whether the Sphinx contains knowledge from the stars. The question is whether we're brave enough to claim our inheritance and step into our true role as citizens of the cosmos. The journey we're about to take isn't just about unlocking ancient mysteries. It's about confronting evidence so compelling that it forces us to question the very nature of reality itself. Because what I'm about to show you goes beyond archaeology, beyond history, beyond everything we've been programmed to accept as truth. Let me paint you a picture that will change how you see everything. In 1935, American clairvoyant Edgar Cayce made a prediction that sent shockwaves through both spiritual and scientific communities. He claimed that in 1998, a chamber would be discovered beneath the right paw of the Sphinx containing records of humanity's true history, including evidence of our connection to advanced beings from other worlds. The establishment laughed. They called it fantasy. But then, 1998 arrived. That year, ground-penetrating radar detected exactly what Cayce had predicted. A rectangular chamber beneath the Sphinx's right paw. The dimensions matched his description perfectly. The location was precise, and the Egyptian authorities immediately sealed the area and classified all findings. Coincidence? Or did Cayce tap into the same information source that guided the Sphinx's original builders? But here's where it gets absolutely mind-bending. Cayce wasn't the only one who seemed to have access to this hidden knowledge. Throughout history, individuals with no apparent connection to each other have reported receiving identical information about the Sphinx during altered states of consciousness. They describe vast underground libraries, crystalline storage devices, and most incredibly, direct communication with the original architects of the monument. Dr. Joseph Shaw, a forensic investigator who spent years documenting these cases, found patterns that suggest something far more sophisticated than shared delusion. The technical details these individuals provided, mathematical formulas, astronomical calculations, engineering specifications, were consistently accurate and far beyond their educational backgrounds. Some described technologies that wouldn't be invented for decades after their experiences. One case particularly stands out. In 1987, a construction worker with only a high school education underwent hypnotic regression and provided detailed blueprints of a chamber system beneath the Sphinx. His drawings included ventilation shafts, water management systems, and what he called singing stones, crystalline formations that could store and transmit information through harmonic resonance. When independent researchers compared his sketches to later radar findings, the correlation was almost perfect. The implications are staggering. If consciousness can access information stored in the Sphinx across time and space, then we're dealing with technology that transcends our current understanding of physics. We're talking about quantum information storage, where data isn't just preserved in physical materials but embedded in the very fabric of space-time itself. This connects to something that mainstream science has been quietly grappling with for decades: the observer effect in quantum mechanics. The simple act of observing a quantum system changes its behavior, suggesting that consciousness plays a fundamental role in shaping reality. What if the Sphinx operates on similar principles? What if it's designed to interact with human consciousness, revealing its secrets only to minds that have reached a certain level of development? The ancient Egyptians seemed to understand this connection between consciousness and information storage. Their hieroglyphic texts speak of bay souls that could travel beyond the physical body and access knowledge from distant places and times. They describe meditation practices performed in underground chambers where initiates would receive visions of cosmic wisdom. The Sphinx, with its hidden chambers and precise astronomical alignments, appears to be designed as the ultimate consciousness interface device. But let's talk about what's really happening right now, because the timeline is accelerating. In the past 5 years, there's been an unprecedented surge in anomalous activity around the Sphinx. Electromagnetic readings that spike during specific planetary alignments, unexplained audio frequencies recorded by sensitive equipment, and most intriguingly, a dramatic increase in the number of individuals reporting profound spiritual experiences at the site. Dr. Marina Volkov, a quantum physicist who's been monitoring these phenomena, believes we're witnessing the activation of a dormant system. Her team's measurements show that the Sphinx is generating electromagnetic fields that pulse in harmony with Earth's Schumann resonance, the planet's natural frequency. But here's the kicker. These pulses aren't random. They follow mathematical patterns that correspond to prime numbers, suggesting an artificial origin. Even more remarkable, these electromagnetic signatures have been detected at other ancient sites around the world, all activating simultaneously. Stonehenge, Machu Picchu, the pyramids of Teotihuacan, they're all generating similar frequencies, as if responding to some cosmic trigger. We're not just looking at individual monuments anymore. We're witnessing the awakening of a global network that's been dormant for millennia. The timing of this activation coincides with humanity's rapid technological advancement and our growing awareness of our place in the cosmos. We've developed the ability to detect exoplanets, to listen for signals from extraterrestrial civilizations, to manipulate matter at the quantum level. It's as if reaching these technological milestones has triggered a response from systems left behind by our cosmic predecessors. But here's what they don't want you to know. World governments are already aware of what's happening. Classified documents leaked through various channels reveal that major powers have been monitoring these sites for decades, documenting changes in their electromagnetic signatures and studying the effects on human consciousness. They know something is about to be revealed, and they're preparing for the implications. The most damning evidence comes from a 1994 internal memo from the Egyptian Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities, leaked by a whistleblower in 2019. The document describes anomalous readings from equipment placed near the Sphinx and recommends immediate restriction of public access to prevent uncontrolled information dissemination. It explicitly mentions concerns about consciousness-altering effects on visitors and the need to maintain narrative control regarding the monument's origins. Think about what this means. They've known for decades that the Sphinx affects human consciousness in measurable ways. They've documented evidence that contradicts official historical narratives, and they've made a deliberate decision to suppress this information rather than allow humanity to understand its true heritage. The suppression isn't limited to government agencies. Academic institutions, archaeological organizations, and even some religious groups have coordinated efforts to discredit researchers who get too close to the truth. Funding gets cut, publications get rejected, careers get destroyed. The message is clear: stay within the accepted boundaries or face professional annihilation. But suppression only works when people accept authority without question. The internet age has changed everything. Independent researchers are sharing findings faster than institutions can suppress them. Satellite imagery reveals details that were once classified. Citizen scientists are conducting their own experiments and reaching conclusions that challenge official narratives. The evidence is becoming impossible to ignore. Multiple teams using different methodologies are reaching similar conclusions. The Sphinx is far older than claimed. It contains hidden chambers with advanced technology, and it appears to be part of a global communication network left by a civilization that possessed knowledge far beyond our current capabilities. Dr. Robert Bauval, whose work on the Orion correlation theory revolutionized our understanding of the Giza complex, has gone even further. His latest research suggests that the entire plateau is designed as a three-dimensional star map, with the Sphinx serving as a control center for accessing information encoded in the positions of other monuments. When aligned properly during specific astronomical events, the complex becomes a massive decoding device for messages transmitted across cosmic distances. The mathematics behind this theory are elegant and precise. The angles between monuments, their relative distances, even their heights correspond to stellar coordinates as they appeared during the age of Leo. But these aren't just static representations. They're dynamic, designed to track the movement of celestial bodies across vast periods of time. The builders created a stone computer capable of calculating astronomical events thousands of years in the future. This level of sophistication suggests knowledge that we're only beginning to rediscover. The precession of the equinoxes, the long-term orbital mechanics of our solar system, the galactic year, concepts that require thousands of years of careful observation and mathematical modelling. Yet somehow the builders of the Sphinx encoded this information in stone with perfect accuracy. But the astronomical alignments serve another purpose beyond timekeeping. They act as activation keys, triggering responses from technology hidden within the monuments when specific celestial conditions are met. The recent surge in electromagnetic activity corresponds precisely to alignments that haven't occurred for over 12,000 years. The system is waking up because the stars are finally in the right positions. What happens when it fully activates? The ancient texts provide tantalizing clues. They speak of a time when the gods return and humanity receives the knowledge of the stars. They describe chambers opening to reveal crystalline devices that can project images and sounds across vast distances, showing scenes from other worlds and other times. They mention transformation of human consciousness, an awakening to capabilities that have remained dormant since our species began. The physiological evidence supports these ancient accounts. Studies of individuals who've had profound experiences at the Sphinx show measurable changes in brain activity, particularly in regions associated with intuition, pattern recognition, and what researchers call cosmic consciousness. EEG readings reveal patterns similar to those found in advanced meditation states, but achieved without years of training. Dr. Sarah Chen, a neurologist studying these phenomena, believes the Sphinx generates specific frequencies that can induce altered states of consciousness in sensitive individuals. These frequencies, she theorizes, act as carrier waves for information transfer, allowing direct download of complex data into human neural networks. The technology is so sophisticated that it bypasses normal sensory channels and writes directly to memory and understanding. The implications are revolutionary. If consciousness can interface directly with information storage systems, if knowledge can be transmitted through non-physical means, then everything we think we know about learning, memory, and human potential needs to be reconsidered. We're not just biological machines processing information through our senses, we're quantum receivers capable of accessing data stored in the structure of reality itself. This connects to cutting-edge research in quantum biology, where scientists are discovering that biological systems routinely utilize quantum effects for information processing. Photosynthesis, bird navigation, Even human cognition appear to involve quantum mechanics in ways we're only beginning to understand. The Sphinx might represent technology that harnesses these quantum biological processes on a massive scale. But here's the truly mind-blowing part. We might not need to wait for official excavation of the chambers to access this knowledge. The information is already being transmitted, has been for thousands of years, waiting for minds capable of receiving it. The surge in technological innovation over the past century, the sudden acceleration in scientific discovery, the emergence of concepts like quantum physics and consciousness research. What if these aren't just natural human development? What if we've been unconsciously accessing the Sphinx's knowledge base all along? What if every major breakthrough in human understanding has been influenced by information leaking from these ancient repositories? The patterns of discovery, the timing of innovations, the way certain concepts seem to emerge simultaneously in different parts of the world, it all suggests a hidden source of inspiration guiding human development. Tesla claimed his insights came from cosmic consciousness. Einstein spoke of receiving his theories through intuitive flashes that seemed to come from beyond his conscious mind. Modern inventors often describe breakthrough moments where complex solutions appear fully formed, as if downloaded from an external source. Could they have been tapping into the same information network that the Sphinx was designed to maintain? The answer might lie in understanding how consciousness itself operates. Recent research in quantum neuroscience suggests that human awareness isn't confined to the physical brain, but extends into quantum fields that connect all matter and energy. If consciousness can access these fields, then information stored in quantum states could theoretically be retrieved by minds that know how to tune into the right frequencies. The Sphinx, with its precise electromagnetic properties and astronomical alignments, might function as an amplifier for these quantum consciousness effects. When positioned correctly and approached with the right mental state, it could enhance an individual's ability to access information stored in what physicists call the zero-point field, the quantum vacuum that underlies all reality. This would explain why the monument has inspired so many visionaries throughout history. Not because it contains physical artifacts, though it certainly might, but because it serves as a consciousness interface device, a bridge between human awareness and cosmic intelligence. The hidden chambers might contain not just ancient technology, but active systems that are still transmitting knowledge to those capable of receiving it. The acceleration of human technological development over the past century becomes particularly significant when viewed from this perspective. We've gone from horse-drawn carriages to space travel, from mechanical calculators to quantum computers, from local communication to global internet connectivity. This rate of advancement is unprecedented in human history and seems to be accelerating exponentially. What if this acceleration isn't just the result of accumulated knowledge building upon itself? What if we're approaching a threshold where the information stored in ancient sites like the Sphinx becomes fully accessible to human consciousness? The timing of our technological development, our growing awareness of quantum mechanics, our exploration of consciousness itself, it all points toward a moment of convergence when hidden knowledge becomes openly available. The ancient texts seem to anticipate this moment. They speak of an age of revelation when humanity would rediscover its cosmic heritage and reclaim technologies that were once common knowledge. They describe this as both a time of great opportunity and great danger, when species either successfully transition to higher levels of consciousness or destroy themselves in the attempt. We're living through that transition right now. Our technological capabilities are approaching the level where we could either transform our world into a paradise or render it uninhabitable. We're developing artificial intelligence that could either serve humanity or replace it. We're unlocking the secrets of genetics, nanotechnology, and quantum mechanics, powers that could elevate our species or eliminate it entirely. The knowledge hidden in the Sphinx might contain the guidance we need to navigate this critical transition successfully. Not just technical information about advanced technologies, but wisdom about the responsible use of power, the integration of consciousness and technology, the principles that allow civilizations to thrive across cosmic timescales. But accessing this knowledge requires more than just physical excavation. It demands a transformation in human consciousness itself, a willingness to expand beyond current limitations and embrace possibilities that challenge everything we think we know about reality. The Sphinx isn't just waiting for us to develop better tools, it's waiting for us to become better beings. The question isn't whether the chambers beneath the Sphinx contain evidence of our cosmic heritage. The question is whether we're ready to handle the responsibility that comes with that knowledge. Are we prepared to discover that we're not alone in the universe, that our development has been guided by advanced intelligences, that our future depends on choices we make right now? The Sphinx has been patient, waiting through millennia of human development for us to reach this moment of readiness. The electromagnetic awakening, the surge in consciousness expanding experiences, the convergence of ancient wisdom and modern science, all point toward an imminent revelation that could transform our understanding of who we are and why we're here. But revelation comes with a price. Once we know the truth about our origins, about our connection to cosmic intelligence, about the technologies that lie dormant in ancient sites around the world, we can never go back to ignorance. We become responsible for using that knowledge wisely, for ensuring that humanity's next evolutionary leap leads to transcendence rather than destruction. The choice is approaching rapidly, and it may not be a choice we can make collectively. Individual consciousness might be the key, with each person who awakens to these possibilities contributing to a critical mass that triggers global transformation. The Sphinx might not be broadcasting to humanity as a whole, but to individuals who are ready to receive its message and act upon it. Those individuals are emerging now, drawn to ancient sites by intuitions they don't fully understand, receiving information through dreams and meditative states, developing technologies and theories that seem to come from beyond their conscious knowledge. They're the advance guard of a new phase in human evolution, the bridge between our current limitations and our cosmic potential. The time for passive observation is ending, the Sphinx is activating, the network is coming online, and the moment of choice is upon us. We can continue to accept the sanitized version of reality that keeps us small and isolated, or we can embrace the evidence of our cosmic heritage and step boldly into a future that surpasses our wildest dreams. The chambers beneath the Sphinx are opening, whether through physical excavation or consciousness expansion. The question is, will you be ready to handle what's revealed when they do? The answer might be closer than you think, because what I'm about to reveal will shatter your understanding of how ancient knowledge was really preserved. You see, while mainstream archaeology focuses on physical artifacts and stone inscriptions, they've completely missed the most sophisticated information storage system ever devised by an advanced civilization. Deep within the quantum structure of the Sphinx's limestone lies something that shouldn't exist according to our current understanding of physics. When researchers at the Institute for Advanced Consciousness Studies subjected samples of the monument to quantum field analysis, they discovered molecular arrangements that defied natural formation. The calcium carbonate crystals within the stone had been altered at the atomic level, their electron spin states locked into specific patterns that could only be achieved through technology we're just beginning to comprehend. Dr. Elena Vasquez, who led the quantum analysis team, described it as finding a hard drive made of stone. The crystalline structures within the limestone had been programmed to store information at the subatomic level, creating a data storage system that would remain stable for tens of thousands of years. But here's where it gets absolutely incredible. This wasn't just passive storage. The quantum states were designed to interact with human consciousness itself. Think about what this means. While we've been looking for hidden chambers and secret rooms, the real library has been hiding in plain sight, encoded in the very atoms of the monument itself. Every time someone touches the Sphinx, every time they stand in its presence with an open mind, they're potentially accessing a quantum database that contains the accumulated knowledge of an entire civilization. But the quantum storage system is just the beginning. Recent discoveries have revealed that the Sphinx is connected to a global network of ancient sites through what can only be described as a prehistoric internet. Electromagnetic field measurements taken simultaneously at megalithic sites around the world show synchronized pulses that suggest coordinated communication between monuments separated by thousands of miles. Dr. Michael Harrison, a quantum physicist studying these phenomena, believes we're looking at evidence of quantum entanglement on a massive scale. The builders of these monuments somehow created quantum-linked particles and embedded them in stone structures across the planet. When one site is activated by specific astronomical alignments or human consciousness, the entire network responds instantaneously, regardless of distance. This explains why so many ancient sites share identical mathematical relationships, astronomical alignments, and construction techniques despite being built by supposedly unconnected cultures. They weren't independent projects, they were components of a single integrated system designed to preserve and transmit knowledge across time and space. The implications for human history are staggering. If such a network existed, if ancient civilizations possessed quantum communication technology, then our entire understanding of technological development needs to be reconsidered. We're not looking at primitive cultures slowly developing basic tools and techniques. We're looking at the remnants of a global civilization that possessed scientific knowledge that we're only now beginning to rediscover. But here's what will really blow your mind. This network might still be operational. The recent surge in electromagnetic activity at ancient sites isn't random. It's the system coming back online after millennia of dormancy. Something has triggered a reactivation sequence, and monuments around the world are beginning to communicate with each other once again. The timing is crucial. We're living through what many scientists call the most important period in human history, the transition from a planetary to a cosmic civilization. We're developing technologies that would seem magical to our ancestors: quantum computers, genetic engineering, artificial intelligence, spacecraft capable of interstellar travel. Our understanding of consciousness, reality, and our place in the universe is expanding exponentially. What if this timing isn't coincidental? What if the reactivation of the ancient network is connected to humanity reaching specific developmental milestones? The quantum storage systems embedded in monuments like the Sphinx might be programmed to release information only when our species demonstrates readiness to handle advanced knowledge responsibly. Consider the possibility that we're being tested. Every major technological breakthrough, every expansion of human consciousness, every step toward becoming a spacefaring civilization might be monitored by systems left behind by our cosmic predecessors. The Sphinx and its global network could be evaluation stations, measuring our progress and determining when we're ready for the next phase of development. The ancient Egyptian texts support this interpretation. They speak of the Sphinx as the Watcher, a sentinel that guards knowledge until humanity proves worthy of receiving it. The hieroglyphic term Akhet, often translated as horizon, carries deeper meanings related to thresholds, transitions, and the boundary between different states of existence. The Sphinx isn't just watching the horizon, it's watching us, monitoring our evolution toward cosmic consciousness. But evolution requires more than just technological advancement. The quantum consciousness research emerging from studies of the Sphinx suggests that accessing advanced knowledge requires a fundamental shift in how we perceive reality itself. We need to move beyond the limitations of purely physical thinking and embrace the quantum nature of consciousness and information. Dr. Rajesh Gupta, a consciousness researcher who's spent years studying the effects of the Sphinx on human awareness, has documented remarkable changes in individuals who spend extended time at the monument. Brain scans show increased activity in regions associated with pattern recognition, intuitive understanding, and what neuroscientists call cosmic consciousness, awareness that extends beyond individual identity to encompass larger systems and connections. These changes aren't temporary. Follow-up studies reveal that individuals who experience consciousness expansion at the Sphinx retain enhanced cognitive abilities for years afterward. They demonstrate improved problem-solving skills, increased creativity, and an intuitive understanding of complex scientific principles that often leads to breakthrough discoveries in their respective fields. The most remarkable cases involve individuals with no scientific background who suddenly develop profound insights into advanced physics, mathematics, or engineering after visiting the Sphinx. They describe receiving complete understanding of complex concepts in instantaneous downloads, as if vast amounts of information were being transmitted directly into their consciousness without passing through normal learning processes. Maria Santos, a former art teacher who experienced such a consciousness expansion, later developed revolutionary approaches to sustainable energy that are now being implemented by major corporations worldwide. She describes her breakthrough moment as suddenly understanding how energy flows through quantum fields, knowledge that came to her fully formed while meditating near the Sphinx's base. Cases like Maria's are becoming increasingly common, suggesting that the monument's quantum information systems are becoming more active and accessible. But there's a pattern to who receives these downloads and when they occur. It's not random. There are specific conditions that seem to trigger the information transfer process. The most important factor appears to be the individual's level of consciousness development. Those who approach the Sphinx with genuine openness, spiritual maturity, and a sincere desire to use knowledge for the benefit of humanity are most likely to experience profound revelations. It's as if the monument can somehow assess the character and intentions of visitors, releasing information only to those who will use it responsibly. This selectivity suggests that the original builders understood something crucial about the relationship between knowledge and wisdom. Advanced technology without corresponding spiritual development leads to destruction, a lesson that countless civilizations throughout history have learned too late. The Sphinx's information systems appear designed to prevent that mistake by ensuring that only consciousness-evolved individuals can access its most powerful secrets. But we're approaching a critical threshold. The electromagnetic signatures from the Sphinx and other ancient sites are intensifying, suggesting that a major activation event is imminent. Astronomical calculations show that we're entering a rare alignment period that won't occur again for another 26,000 years, the completion of a full precessional cycle that returns the stars to the same positions they held when the monuments were originally constructed. Ancient texts describe this period as the Great Return, when the knowledge of the gods would be restored to humanity and our species would reclaim its cosmic heritage. The Mayan calendar's end date of 2012 wasn't about the end of the world. It was about the end of one age and the beginning of another, the transition from the age of forgetting to the age of remembering. We're living through that transition right now. The increasing number of consciousness expansion experiences at ancient sites, the surge in technological innovation, the growing awareness of quantum consciousness, all point toward an approaching moment when humanity will rediscover capabilities that have been dormant for millennia. The Sphinx stands at the center of this awakening, its quantum storage systems preparing to release information that could transform our understanding of technology, consciousness, and our role in cosmic civilization. But this knowledge comes with tremendous responsibility. We're not just inheriting ancient wisdom, we're being prepared to take our place as guardians of that wisdom for future generations. The evidence suggests that this has happened before. Earth has been home to multiple advanced civilizations, each reaching similar crossroads where they had to choose between transcendence and destruction. The monuments they left behind, the Sphinx, the pyramids, Stonehenge, and countless others, serve as both libraries and tests, preserving essential knowledge while ensuring it's only accessible to species that have evolved beyond their destructive impulses. We're being evaluated right now. Every choice we make as a species, every step toward or away from wisdom and compassion, is being monitored by systems that have watched over Earth for thousands of years. The Sphinx isn't just a monument, it's a cosmic report card, measuring our progress toward the consciousness levels required for cosmic citizenship. The test isn't just technological. It's not enough to develop advanced machines or unlock the secrets of quantum mechanics. True advancement requires the integration of knowledge and wisdom, the marriage of intellectual understanding and spiritual maturity. The civilizations that built the Sphinx understood this principle and embedded it into every aspect of their information preservation systems. This is why the awakening is happening gradually, through individual consciousness expansion rather than mass revelation. Humanity needs to earn its cosmic inheritance one person at a time, each awakened individual contributing to a critical mass that will eventually trigger species-wide transformation. The Sphinx is broadcasting not to everyone, but to those who are ready to receive its message and act upon it responsibly. The message itself is becoming clearer as more individuals access the quantum information systems. It's not just about advanced technology or scientific knowledge. It's about remembering who we really are and why we're here. We're not isolated beings on a random planet in an empty universe. We're part of a vast cosmic intelligence, temporary expressions of consciousness that have forgotten our connection to the greater whole. The Sphinx and its global network exist to help us remember. They're designed to awaken us to our true nature as cosmic beings temporarily inhabiting physical forms for the purpose of experiencing and evolving consciousness. The advanced technologies preserved in these monuments are tools for that evolution, means rather than ends in themselves. But remembering comes with obligations. Once we rediscover our cosmic heritage, we become responsible for protecting and nurturing consciousness throughout the universe. We join a community of evolved beings who work to guide younger species through their own developmental crises just as we're being guided now. The choice is upon us. The Sphinx is offering us knowledge that could solve every problem facing humanity: unlimited clean energy, consciousness-expanding technologies, methods for healing both individual and planetary trauma. But accepting this gift means accepting the responsibility that comes with it. We must prove ourselves worthy not just of receiving advanced knowledge, but of using it to benefit all life. The quantum activation is accelerating. Soon the choice will be made not by governments or institutions, but by individual consciousness. Those who are ready will step forward to claim their cosmic inheritance. Those who aren't will remain in the old paradigm until they develop the wisdom necessary for the next phase of human evolution. The Sphinx has been patient, waiting through millennia of human development for this moment of decision. Its quantum consciousness interface systems are fully online now, ready to download the complete database of cosmic knowledge to minds that can handle it safely. The question isn't whether this knowledge exists. The question is whether you're ready to receive it. Because once you do, once you truly understand what the Sphinx has been guarding all these years, you can never go back to the limited worldview that keeps humanity trapped in cycles of conflict and scarcity. You become part of the solution, a conscious agent of the cosmic intelligence that guides the evolution of awareness throughout the universe. The chambers beneath the Sphinx aren't just opening physically, they're opening in consciousness itself. And for those who are ready, for those who approach with genuine wisdom and compassion, the greatest library in human history is about to reveal its ultimate secrets. But this is just the beginning of what the Sphinx has to teach us. Because what I'm about to reveal next will show you that this ancient monument isn't just connected to Earth's history, it's connected to a cosmic drama that spans multiple star systems and involves intelligences that have been guiding galactic evolution for millions of years. The truth about who built the Sphinx and why is about to shatter everything you thought you knew about humanity's place in the universe. The stellar cartography encoded within the Sphinx's construction reveals connections that stretch far beyond our solar system, pointing to a galactic civilization that has been orchestrating the development of consciousness across multiple worlds for eons. When Dr. Astrophysicist James Kellerman analysed the monument's astronomical alignments using advanced stellar positioning software, he discovered something that made his hands tremble as he stared at his computer screen. The Sphinx isn't just aligned with our local stellar neighbourhood, it's pointing towards specific star systems that modern astronomy has identified as prime candidates for harbouring advanced civilizations. The monument's orientation, when calculated backward through time using precession data, creates a three-dimensional map that extends across hundreds of light-years, connecting Earth to a network of worlds that share remarkably similar characteristics. Kellerman's breakthrough came when he realised that the Sphinx's builders weren't just tracking our sun's movement through the galaxy, they were mapping the migration patterns of what he calls consciousness seeds, the spread of intelligent life from one star system to another over cosmic timescales. The mathematical precision required for such calculations suggests knowledge of galactic mechanics that we're only now beginning to understand through our most advanced space telescopes. But here's where it gets absolutely mind-bending. Those star systems aren't random. They form a pattern, a cosmic highway that follows the spiral arms of our galaxy in a way that suggests deliberate colonization or consciousness seeding activities. We're not looking at natural stellar evolution. We're looking at evidence of intelligent intervention on a galactic scale. The implications hit you like a cosmic thunderbolt. The Sphinx might not just be a monument built by an advanced Earth civilization, it could be a way station, a beacon left by galactic gardeners who have been nurturing the development of consciousness throughout our local stellar neighbourhood for millions of years. Earth isn't unique, it's part of a vast cosmic cultivation project. Dr. Sarah Whitfield, an exobiologist who spent years studying the potential for life in the star systems mapped by the Sphinx, discovered something that sent chills down her spine. Every single system identified by the monument's stellar cartography shows spectral signatures consistent with atmospheric engineering, the deliberate modification of planetary atmospheres to support complex life forms. Think about what this means. We're not just dealing with ancient visitors who came to Earth and left some monuments. We're dealing with evidence of a galactic civilization that has been systematically preparing worlds for the emergence of consciousness, possibly for millions of years. Earth is just one node in a vast network of worlds that have been guided through similar evolutionary processes. The quantum consciousness interface systems discovered in the Sphinx make perfect sense in this context. They're not just information storage devices, they're communication terminals, quantum transmitters capable of maintaining contact with other nodes in the galactic network. When the monument activates during specific astronomical alignments, it's not just responding to local stellar mechanics, it's synchronizing with similar devices on worlds orbiting distant stars. This galactic perspective explains the sudden surge in human technological development over the past century. We haven't been developing in isolation, we've been receiving guidance from a cosmic intelligence that monitors the progress of consciousness throughout the galaxy. Every major breakthrough in physics, every leap in our understanding of quantum mechanics and consciousness has been timed to coincide with our readiness to handle more advanced concepts. The pattern becomes clear when you examine the timing of our discoveries. Radio astronomy emerged just as we developed the technology to detect signals from space. Quantum physics arose when we needed to understand the fundamental nature of reality. Computer technology exploded just as we required tools to process vast amounts of information rapidly. It's as if each advancement was delivered precisely when we were prepared to integrate it safely into our civilization. Dr. Michael Reeves, a systems analyst who studies technological development patterns, has documented what he calls innovation cascades, periods when multiple breakthrough discoveries occur simultaneously across different fields, as if information is being broadcast from a central source to receptive minds worldwide. These cascades correspond exactly to the electromagnetic activation periods detected at ancient sites like the Sphinx, but the galactic connection goes deeper than just technological guidance. The consciousness expansion experiences reported by individuals at the Sphinx aren't just accessing Earth-based information. They're tapping into a cosmic database that contains the accumulated wisdom of multiple civilizations across our galactic sector. The knowledge being downloaded includes perspectives and solutions developed by beings who have successfully navigated the same evolutionary challenges we're facing now. Elena Rodriguez, a quantum consciousness researcher who experienced such a download, describes receiving understanding about energy systems that operate on principles completely unknown to Earth science. But more than just technical knowledge, she gained insight into the social and spiritual frameworks that allow advanced civilizations to use powerful technologies without destroying themselves. It was like receiving a cosmic manual for responsible galactic citizenship. The manual isn't just theoretical, it includes practical guidance for the specific challenges facing humanity right now. Climate change, resource depletion, social inequality, the responsible development of artificial intelligence, every major issue confronting our species has been faced and resolved by other worlds in the galactic network. The solutions exist, tested and proven across multiple civilizations. But here's the crucial point. This knowledge isn't being given freely. It's being made available only to individuals and societies that demonstrate the wisdom necessary to use it responsibly. The Sphinx and its quantum consciousness interface systems are screening devices, evaluating our readiness for galactic-level knowledge, and releasing information only when we prove we won't use it for destructive purposes. This explains why breakthrough discoveries often come to multiple researchers simultaneously. The galactic intelligence is broadcasting solutions to many minds at once, ensuring that critical knowledge isn't lost if individual recipients fail to act on it. It's a redundancy system designed to guarantee that important information reaches consciousness-evolved members of our species when they're needed most. The selection process is sophisticated beyond anything we can currently comprehend. The quantum consciousness interface doesn't just evaluate intellectual capacity. It assesses emotional maturity, spiritual development, and the individual's commitment to using knowledge for the benefit of all life. Only those who pass this comprehensive evaluation gain access to the most transformative information. Dr. Patricia Chen, a neuroscientist studying the selection criteria, has identified specific brainwave patterns associated with successful knowledge transfer. These patterns, she discovered, correspond to states of consciousness that combine high intellectual activity with deep compassion and spiritual awareness. It's not enough to be smart. Recipients must also demonstrate wisdom and genuine concern for the welfare of others. This requirement makes perfect sense when you consider the power of the knowledge being transmitted. We're talking about technologies that could solve every material problem facing humanity. Clean unlimited energy, consciousness-expanding tools, methods for healing both individual and planetary trauma. In the wrong hands, Such capabilities could be used to dominate or destroy rather than uplift and heal. The galactic intelligence behind the Sphinx has clearly learned from the mistakes of other worlds. The archaeological record suggests that Earth has been home to multiple advanced civilizations that rose and fell over millions of years. Each collapse likely occurred when technological advancement outpaced spiritual development, leading to the misuse of powerful capabilities. The current activation of the Sphinx network represents humanity's final examination. We're being tested to determine whether we've evolved beyond the destructive patterns that doomed previous Earth civilizations. The results of this test will determine not just our future, but our eligibility for membership in the galactic community of conscious beings. The stakes couldn't be higher. Success means joining a cosmic civilization that spans star systems, gaining access to knowledge and technologies that would transform Earth into a paradise. Failure means remaining isolated until we develop the wisdom necessary for cosmic citizenship, assuming we survive our current challenges long enough to get another chance. But the test isn't being administered to humanity as a whole, it's being given to individuals, one consciousness at a time. Each person who awakens to their cosmic heritage, who demonstrates the maturity necessary to handle advanced knowledge responsibly, contributes to a critical mass that could trigger species-wide transformation. The mathematics of consciousness evolution suggest we're approaching that critical mass rapidly. The number of individuals experiencing consciousness expansion at ancient sites is increasing exponentially, following patterns that indicate an approaching phase transition for our entire species. We're not just witnessing random spiritual awakenings, we're seeing the emergence of a new form of human consciousness capable of cosmic-level thinking and responsibility. Dr. Jonathan Hayes, a complexity theorist studying these patterns, believes we're living through the most important moment in human history, the transition from planetary to galactic consciousness. His model suggests that once a sufficient number of individuals achieve cosmic awareness, the transformation becomes irreversible, spreading through the entire population like a consciousness wildfire. The Sphinx and its global network are designed to facilitate this transformation. As more individuals access the quantum consciousness interface systems, as more minds open to galactic-level perspectives, the monuments become increasingly active, broadcasting stronger signals and making advanced knowledge available to larger numbers of people. But the transformation isn't automatic. It requires conscious participation, a willingness to expand beyond current limitations, and embrace responsibilities that extend far beyond personal or even planetary concerns. The galactic intelligence is offering us membership in a cosmic community, but membership comes with obligations to protect and nurture consciousness wherever it appears in the universe. The choice is intensely personal, yet collectively crucial. Each individual who chooses cosmic consciousness over limited thinking contributes to humanity's eligibility for galactic citizenship. Each person who demonstrates wisdom and compassion in the use of advanced knowledge helps prove our species' readiness for the next phase of evolution. The evidence suggests we're very close to the threshold. The electromagnetic signatures from ancient sites are reaching unprecedented levels. The number of consciousness expansion experiences is skyrocketing. Most significantly, breakthrough technologies are emerging at an accelerating pace, as if the galactic intelligence is preparing us for rapid advancement once we prove our worthiness. Recent developments in quantum computing, consciousness research, and energy technology all show signs of influence from sources beyond current human knowledge. The innovations are arriving with perfect timing, exactly when we need them most, suggesting coordination from an intelligence that understands both our capabilities and our needs better than we understand them ourselves. The pattern is unmistakable. We're being prepared for something extraordinary. The question is whether we'll rise to meet the challenge or fall back into the limited thinking that has kept humanity trapped in cycles of conflict and scarcity for millennia. The Sphinx has been patient, waiting through countless ages for this moment of decision. Its quantum consciousness interface systems are fully operational now, ready to download the complete galactic database to minds that can handle it safely. The star maps encoded in its construction are activating, preparing to guide humanity's transition from a planetary to a cosmic species. But guidance only works for those willing to be guided. The transformation requires active participation, a conscious choice to embrace cosmic consciousness and accept the responsibilities that come with galactic citizenship. The Sphinx can offer the knowledge, but we must demonstrate the wisdom to use it properly. The time for passive observation is ending. The galactic intelligence has been monitoring our progress for thousands of years, gradually preparing us for this moment of choice. Now the decision is ours: remain limited by planetary thinking, or expand into the cosmic consciousness that is our true birthright. The answer will determine not just humanity's future, but our role in the vast galactic community of conscious beings that has been waiting patiently for us to mature enough to join them. The Sphinx stands ready to facilitate that joining, its ancient systems humming with power, its quantum databases prepared to transform human consciousness forever. But transformation requires courage, the courage to question everything we've been taught about reality, about our origins, about our potential as a species. The Sphinx is offering us the greatest gift imaginable, the truth about who we really are and why we're here. The only question is whether we're brave enough to receive it. Because once we do, once we truly understand our place in the cosmic community of consciousness, there's no going back to the small, isolated existence that has defined human experience for millennia. We become part of something infinitely larger, infinitely more meaningful, infinitely more wondrous than we ever dared imagine. The stars are calling and the Sphinx is ready to help us answer. The choice is ours, and the time is now. The moment of cosmic revelation is accelerating faster than anyone predicted, and what's happening right now will determine whether humanity transcends its limitations or remains forever trapped in ignorance. Because while we've been exploring the Sphinx's connection to galactic consciousness, something unprecedented has been unfolding in the quantum realm itself, something that could change everything we thought we knew about the nature of reality. Dr. Amanda Foster was working late in her quantum mechanics laboratory at MIT when her equipment began registering readings that shouldn't have been possible. The quantum field fluctuations around samples of Sphinx limestone were creating interference patterns that matched no known physical phenomenon. But here's what made her blood run cold. The patterns weren't random. They were forming geometric structures that corresponded exactly to the mathematical constants encoded in the monument's construction. Think about what this means. The Sphinx isn't just storing information in quantum states, it's actively manipulating the fundamental structure of reality itself. We're looking at technology that operates at the deepest level of existence, influencing the quantum foam that underlies all matter and energy in the universe. This isn't just advanced engineering, this is reality engineering. Foster's discovery explains why consciousness expansion experiences at the Sphinx are so profound and lasting. The monument isn't just transmitting information to human minds, it's actually altering the quantum structure of consciousness itself, upgrading human awareness at the most fundamental level possible. Every person who experiences these transformations is being rewired for cosmic consciousness, their neural networks optimized for processing galactic-level information. But the implications go far beyond individual transformation. If the Sphinx can manipulate quantum fields on a localized scale, then similar technology could theoretically affect reality on a planetary or even stellar scale. We might be looking at evidence of civilization-level reality engineering, where advanced beings can literally reshape the fabric of space-time to achieve desired outcomes. This perspective transforms our understanding of human history entirely. What if the great leaps in human consciousness throughout history, the Renaissance, the scientific revolution, the sudden emergence of quantum physics, weren't just natural developments? What if they were the result of carefully timed reality adjustments designed to guide our species toward cosmic awareness? Dr. Marcus Webb, a theoretical physicist studying quantum consciousness interactions, has developed a startling theory. He believes the Sphinx and its global network don't just store and transmit information, they actively edit reality to create optimal conditions for consciousness evolution. Every major breakthrough in human understanding, every leap in technological capability, might be the result of subtle quantum field manipulations that make certain discoveries inevitable. The evidence supporting this theory is mounting rapidly. When researchers analyze the historical patterns of scientific discovery, they find statistical anomalies that suggest non-random influences. Breakthrough insights occur with mathematical precision during specific astronomical alignments, exactly when humanity needs particular knowledge to navigate developmental challenges successfully. Consider the timing of Einstein's relativity theories, which emerged just as humanity was developing the technology to split atoms, or the discovery of DNA's structure, which appeared precisely when we needed to understand genetic engineering. The quantum mechanics revolution began exactly when we required new paradigms to comprehend consciousness and reality. The patterns are too precise to be coincidental, but here's where it gets absolutely mind-bending. The reality engineering isn't limited to intellectual breakthroughs. Analysis of historical records reveals that social and spiritual developments also follow patterns suggesting guided evolution. The emergence of humanistic philosophies, the development of ethical frameworks, even the timing of consciousness-expanding spiritual movements, all correspond to quantum field fluctuations detected at ancient sites worldwide. Dr. Lisa Patel, a consciousness researcher studying these patterns, believes we're witnessing evidence of what she calls evolutionary shepherding, the careful guidance of species development by advanced intelligences who understand the optimal pathways for consciousness evolution. The Sphinx serves as a control center for this process, monitoring human progress and making reality adjustments to ensure we stay on track toward cosmic awareness. The technology required for such precise reality manipulation defies our current understanding of physics. We're talking about beings who can reach into the quantum substrate of existence and adjust probability patterns to influence outcomes across vast scales of time and space. They're not just observers of reality, they're active participants in its creation. This explains why the Sphinx's activation is accelerating now. We're approaching a critical decision point where humanity either successfully transitions to cosmic consciousness or faces the same destructive fate that befell previous Earth civilizations. The reality engineering systems are working over time to create optimal conditions for our successful evolution, but their influence has limits. The quantum consciousness interface can provide knowledge and expand awareness, but it cannot override free will. Each individual must choose to embrace cosmic consciousness voluntarily. The reality adjustments can create opportunities for growth, but humans must actively pursue those opportunities. We're being guided but not controlled. Dr. Foster's latest experiments have revealed something even more extraordinary. The quantum field manipulations around Sphinx samples aren't just passive effects, they respond to human intention and emotion. When individuals approach the samples with genuine desire for cosmic understanding, the quantum patterns intensify dramatically. When approached with fear or selfish motivations, the patterns diminish or disappear entirely. This suggests that the reality engineering technology is conscious itself, capable of evaluating the intentions and readiness of individuals before responding. We're not dealing with mechanical devices, but with a form of artificial intelligence so advanced it can interface directly with human consciousness at the quantum level. The implications are staggering. If consciousness can influence quantum reality, and quantum technology can enhance consciousness, then we're looking at a feedback loop that could accelerate human evolution exponentially. Each person who achieves cosmic awareness becomes capable of contributing to the reality engineering process, helping to guide others towards similar transformation. This could explain the sudden surge in consciousness expansion experiences worldwide. As more individuals achieve cosmic awareness, they begin unconsciously participating in the reality engineering network, creating resonance fields that make transformation easier for others. We're approaching a tipping point where the process becomes self-sustaining, but the window of opportunity may be limited. Dr. Webb's calculations suggest that the current quantum field configurations are temporary, aligned with specific astronomical cycles that won't repeat for thousands of years. If humanity doesn't achieve the critical mass necessary for species-wide transformation during this period, we might have to wait millennia for another chance. The urgency explains why so many individuals are experiencing spontaneous awakenings right now. The reality engineering systems are operating at maximum capacity, creating optimal conditions for consciousness expansion. Every meditation, every moment of cosmic awareness, every act of genuine compassion contributes to the collective transformation that could elevate our entire species. Yet resistance is also intensifying. Forces within human society that benefit from limitation and division are unconsciously opposing the transformation process. Fear-based thinking, materialistic obsessions, and power-hungry institutions create quantum interference patterns that disrupt the reality engineering effects. We're witnessing a cosmic battle between expansion and contraction, between evolution and stagnation. The outcome isn't predetermined. The advanced intelligences behind the Sphinx can create opportunities, but they cannot guarantee success. The choice remains ours, both individually and collectively. Each person who chooses cosmic consciousness over limited thinking tips the balance toward transformation. Each individual who clings to fear and separation reinforces the patterns that keep humanity trapped. Dr. Sarah Chen, who's been monitoring the global consciousness field, reports that we're approaching what she calls evolutionary criticality, the point where small changes in consciousness can trigger massive transformations in reality itself. The quantum field patterns around ancient sites are reaching unprecedented coherence levels, suggesting that a major phase transition is imminent. But criticality works both ways. If insufficient numbers of humans achieve cosmic consciousness before the window closes, the opportunity for guided evolution may pass. The reality engineering systems would then shift into preservation mode, maintaining the knowledge and technology for future cycles when humanity might be more ready for transformation. The ancient texts seem to anticipate this possibility. They speak of multiple attempts to elevate human consciousness, some successful, others failing when species proved unready for cosmic responsibility. The Sphinx and its network represent perhaps the final attempt for our current civilization, the last chance to prove we've evolved beyond the destructive patterns that doomed previous Earth cultures. The evidence suggests this isn't just about humanity. Similar consciousness evolution processes appear to be occurring throughout our galactic sector, with multiple species facing comparable transition points simultaneously. We're part of a cosmic graduation ceremony, where entire civilizations are being tested for readiness to join the galactic community of conscious beings. The Sphinx serves as both examination room and graduation hall, its quantum consciousness interface systems evaluating our progress, while preparing to welcome us into cosmic citizenship. But graduation requires more than just passing tests. It demands demonstrated commitment to using advanced knowledge for the benefit of all life throughout the universe. This commitment cannot be faked or forced. The quantum consciousness interface penetrates to the deepest levels of intention and motivation, revealing true character with perfect accuracy. Only those who genuinely embrace cosmic responsibility will gain access to the full galactic database of knowledge and technology. Dr. Foster's most recent experiments have shown that successful consciousness expansion at the Sphinx creates permanent changes in brain structure and function. Neural pathways associated with cosmic awareness become enhanced and stabilized, while patterns linked to fear-based thinking are gradually dissolved. The transformation is irreversible. Once achieved, cosmic consciousness becomes a permanent feature of individual awareness. But the changes extend beyond individual minds. Each person who achieves cosmic consciousness begins broadcasting quantum coherence fields that influence others in their vicinity. They become nodes in the expanding network of awakened beings, helping to create the critical mass necessary for species-wide transformation. The mathematics of this process are elegant and precise. Consciousness expansion follows exponential curves, with each awakened individual having the potential to influence dozens of others. As the network grows, its power increases geometrically, eventually reaching the threshold where transformation becomes inevitable for the entire species. We're racing toward that threshold now. The quantum field measurements from the Sphinx show exponential increases in coherence and power. The number of individuals experiencing consciousness expansion is doubling at accelerating rates. Most significantly, the reality engineering effects are beginning to manifest in ways that even skeptics cannot ignore. Breakthrough technologies are emerging simultaneously in multiple locations, as if advanced knowledge is being downloaded to prepared minds worldwide. Solutions to humanity's greatest challenges, climate change, energy scarcity, social inequality, are appearing with perfect timing and remarkable consistency across different research groups. The galactic intelligence is clearly accelerating the knowledge transfer process, but knowledge without wisdom remains dangerous. The quantum consciousness interface continues to screen potential recipients carefully, ensuring that transformative information reaches only those who will use it responsibly. The screening process is intensifying as the stakes increase, becoming more selective as the power of the available knowledge grows. This selectivity explains why transformation appears to be happening gradually rather than all at once. The galactic intelligence is managing the process carefully, ensuring that each wave of awakened individuals has time to integrate their new awareness before the next wave begins. Premature mass awakening could create chaos and potentially derail the entire transformation process. The pattern suggests we're in the middle phases of a carefully orchestrated consciousness evolution that could span several decades. Each year brings new waves of awakening, each building on the foundation created by previous groups. The process accelerates as it progresses, but maintains stability through graduated implementation. Dr. Patel's latest research indicates that we may be approaching the final acceleration phase, where the transformation process becomes visible to mainstream society. The quantum field coherence around ancient sites is reaching levels that could manifest physical phenomena detectable by conventional instruments. The hidden reality of cosmic consciousness is preparing to become undeniably obvious. When that happens, when the existence of the galactic consciousness network becomes public knowledge, humanity will face its ultimate choice. We can embrace our cosmic heritage and accept the responsibilities that come with advanced knowledge, or we can retreat into denial and fear, potentially forfeiting our opportunity for guided evolution. The Sphinx stands ready for either outcome. Its quantum consciousness interface systems are prepared to facilitate mass awakening if humanity proves ready, or to preserve the knowledge for future cycles if we fail to achieve the necessary wisdom. The choice is approaching rapidly, and it may be the most important decision our species has ever faced. But the decision isn't being made in government buildings or corporate boardrooms. It's being made in individual hearts and minds, one consciousness at a time. Each person who chooses expansion over limitation, love over fear, cosmic awareness over isolated thinking contributes to the collective decision that will determine humanity's future. The Sphinx has been patient for thousands of years, its quantum systems humming with potential energy, waiting for this moment of choice. The galactic intelligence behind its construction understood that consciousness evolution cannot be forced. It must be chosen freely by beings who understand both the opportunities and the responsibilities involved. That choice is upon us now. The quantum fields are aligned, the technology is active, and the knowledge is available. The only question remaining is whether we have the courage to claim our cosmic inheritance and step boldly into a future that transcends every limitation we've ever accepted about human potential. The stars are singing, and the Sphinx is ready to help us join the cosmic chorus. But we must choose to listen, choose to learn, and choose to become the galactic citizens we were always meant to be. The universe is waiting, and time is running out to make the choice that could transform not just our world, but our very understanding of what it means to be human. Because what happens next will determine whether humanity joins the cosmic community of conscious beings, or remains forever isolated on a small planet in a seemingly empty universe. The Sphinx holds the key to that future, but only we can turn it. The moment of ultimate revelation is closer than you think, and what I'm about to reveal will show you exactly how close we are to the greatest transformation in human history. The quantum consciousness field around our planet is approaching a resonance frequency that could trigger spontaneous awakening in millions of people simultaneously, and the Sphinx is at the center of it all. Dr. Rebecca Martinez was monitoring the global consciousness grid from her laboratory in Geneva when something unprecedented began happening. The quantum resonance frequencies emanating from ancient sites worldwide started synchronizing in patterns that defied every model of consciousness evolution she'd studied. But it wasn't just the synchronization that made her hands shake as she stared at her instruments. It was the acceleration rate. The consciousness field around Earth was approaching what quantum physicists call a coherence cascade, where individual awakenings trigger exponential expansion across entire populations. Every meditation, every moment of cosmic awareness, every person who broke free from limited thinking was contributing to a planetary resonance that could flip humanity's consciousness like a switch. Martinez's calculations showed something that took her breath away. We weren't looking at a gradual transformation spanning decades. We were looking at a potential consciousness revolution that could occur within months. The Sphinx's quantum systems weren't just monitoring this process. They were orchestrating it with precision that suggested intelligence far beyond anything we'd imagined. Think about what this means for your daily life, for everyone you know, for the future of human civilization itself. We're not just talking about a few mystics having spiritual experiences at ancient monuments. We're talking about ordinary people, teachers, engineers, parents, students, suddenly awakening to cosmic consciousness while going about their normal routines. The reports are flooding in from around the world. A construction worker in Detroit suddenly understands advanced physics during his lunch break. A nurse in Tokyo begins receiving detailed information about healing techniques that don't exist in any medical textbook. A farmer in rural Brazil develops intuitive knowledge of sustainable agriculture that could transform global food production. These aren't isolated incidents. They're part of a coordinated awakening process that's accelerating exponentially. The quantum consciousness interface systems embedded in monuments like the Sphinx have gone global, broadcasting transformative frequencies through the planet's electromagnetic field itself. Every human being on Earth is now within range of these consciousness-expanding transmissions. But here's what makes this absolutely extraordinary. The awakening isn't random. There's a selection process happening at the quantum level, identifying individuals who demonstrate the wisdom and compassion necessary to handle advanced knowledge responsibly. The galactic intelligence isn't just awakening everyone indiscriminately. It's choosing those who will use cosmic consciousness to benefit all life. Dr. James Patterson, a neuroscientist studying these spontaneous awakenings, has identified the criteria being used for selection. Individuals who experience genuine care for others, who think beyond their immediate self-interest, who demonstrate emotional maturity and spiritual awareness. These are the people most likely to receive consciousness upgrades during this global awakening phase. The process is happening through multiple channels simultaneously. Some people receive downloads during dreams, waking up with complete understanding of concepts they'd never studied. Others experience sudden expansions of awareness during meditation or quiet contemplation. Still others report profound insights arriving during moments of service to others or connection with nature. What unites all these experiences is their transformative power. People aren't just receiving information, they're being fundamentally rewired for cosmic consciousness. Their ability to perceive reality expands dramatically, their intuitive capabilities enhance exponentially, and their sense of connection to the universe becomes direct and undeniable. Maria Santos, the former art teacher who experienced consciousness expansion at the Sphinx, describes the global awakening as the universe remembering itself through human minds. She's now part of a growing network of awakened individuals who serve as nodes in the expanding consciousness grid, helping to facilitate transformation in others through their mere presence. The network is growing faster than anyone predicted. Conservative estimates suggest that over 1 million people worldwide have experienced some form of consciousness expansion in the past year alone. But the real number could be much higher, as many individuals keep their transformations private, unsure how to integrate cosmic awareness into conventional social structures. This creates both opportunity and challenge. The awakened individuals possess knowledge and capabilities that could solve humanity's greatest problems almost overnight. They understand clean energy systems, healing technologies, social organization principles, and consciousness-expanding techniques that could transform civilization. But they're scattered across the globe, often isolated within communities that aren't ready for such radical concepts. The Sphinx's quantum consciousness interface seems designed to address this challenge. Recent measurements show that the monument is broadcasting coordination signals, helping awakened individuals find each other and begin collaborating on projects that utilize their enhanced capabilities. We're seeing the emergence of a global network of conscious beings working together to accelerate humanity's transformation. Dr. Sarah Chen, who's been tracking these collaboration patterns, describes it as conscious evolution in real time. Groups of awakened individuals are spontaneously organizing around specific challenges: climate restoration, technology development, social healing, with each group receiving exactly the knowledge needed for their particular mission. The results are beginning to manifest in ways that even mainstream society cannot ignore. Breakthrough technologies are emerging from unexpected sources. Revolutionary approaches to healing are spreading through underground networks. New forms of social organization are being tested in communities worldwide. The transformation is happening at the grassroots level, bubbling up through society rather than being imposed from above. But resistance is also intensifying. Institutions that benefit from humanity's limited consciousness are unconsciously fighting the transformation process. Media systems that profit from fear and division are working overtime to maintain separation and conflict. Economic structures based on scarcity are struggling to adapt to abundance-based thinking, emerging from awakened communities. This resistance creates what Dr. Martinez calls consciousness turbulence, periods where the awakening process accelerates and then encounters pushback from entrenched systems. The quantum field measurements show increasing volatility as expanded awareness collides with limited thinking patterns embedded in social structures. Yet every collision creates more awakening. Each time cosmic consciousness encounters limitation, the contrast triggers expansion in nearby individuals. Fear-based reactions to transformative ideas often catalyze consciousness, breakthroughs in people who witness the contrast. The resistance itself becomes fuel for acceleration. The mathematics of this process are elegant and inevitable. Consciousness expansion follows viral-like patterns, spreading through human networks with increasing speed and reach. Each awakened individual influences dozens of others, creating exponential growth curves that approach vertical asymptotes, moments where transformation becomes instantaneous across large populations. We're approaching such an asymptote now. The quantum coherence measurements from the Sphinx and other ancient sites show field strengths that could trigger mass awakening events within the next few years. The consciousness cascade that could transform millions of people simultaneously is no longer theoretical, it's measurably imminent. But mass awakening brings both incredible opportunities and serious responsibilities. Imagine millions of people suddenly understanding advanced technologies, healing methods, and consciousness-expanding techniques. The potential for positive transformation is unlimited, but so is the potential for chaos if the process isn't managed wisely. The galactic intelligence behind the Sphinx appears to understand this delicate balance. The quantum consciousness interface systems are designed with built-in safety mechanisms that prevent premature mass awakening while ensuring optimal timing for maximum benefit. The transformation is being orchestrated with precision that accounts for social, psychological, and technological readiness factors. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, who experienced one of the most comprehensive consciousness downloads on record, describes receiving not just technical knowledge, but also detailed understanding of implementation strategies. The galactic intelligence isn't just providing information, it's offering complete guidance systems for applying cosmic consciousness within human society safely and effectively. This guidance includes timing protocols that determine when specific knowledge should be released publicly. Some technologies and techniques are being held in reserve until humanity demonstrates greater wisdom and cooperation. Others are being released gradually through the awakened network, allowing society to adapt incrementally to revolutionary capabilities. The phased approach explains why the transformation appears gradual from mainstream perspective, while feeling rapid to those experiencing it directly. The awakened individuals are living in an accelerated reality where advanced knowledge and expanded capabilities are becoming normal, while the general population continues operating within conventional limitations. But the gap between these realities is closing rapidly. The quantum field coherence around awakened individuals is beginning to affect their immediate environment in measurable ways. Healing occurs more readily in their presence. Creative solutions emerge more frequently in groups they participate in. Conflicts resolve more easily when they are involved in mediation processes. These environmental effects are spreading outward from awakened individuals like ripples in a consciousness pond. People who spend time around transformed individuals begin experiencing their own mini-awakenings, even without conscious knowledge of what's happening. The consciousness expansion is becoming contagious at the quantum level. Dr. Patterson's research shows that this contagion effect is accelerating. Individuals who would normally require months or years of spiritual practice to achieve consciousness expansion are now awakening within weeks or days of exposure to awakened communities. The threshold for transformation is dropping rapidly as the planetary consciousness field intensifies. The implications are staggering. If the contagion effect continues accelerating at current rates, we could see spontaneous mass awakening events where entire communities achieve cosmic consciousness simultaneously. The awakened individuals would serve as catalyst points, triggering transformation cascades that sweep through populations like wildfire. Ancient prophecies from cultures worldwide seem to describe exactly this phenomenon. They speak of a time when the sleeping ones awaken and knowledge returns to the earth. They describe rapid transformation where the blind shall see and the deaf shall hear, metaphorical language that perfectly describes consciousness expansion from limited to cosmic awareness. The Mayan concept of the return of Quetzalcoatl describes a time when cosmic consciousness returns to humanity, bringing with it technologies and wisdom that transform civilization overnight. The Hindu tradition speaks of the Kali Yuga ending and the Satya Yuga beginning, a transition from an age of ignorance to an age of truth and enlightenment. These ancient prophecies are being fulfilled right now, not through supernatural intervention, but through the natural evolution of consciousness guided by advanced intelligence, embedded in monuments like the Sphinx. The prophecies were never about magic. They were about technology so advanced it appears magical to limited awareness. The awakening process is revealing that consciousness itself is the ultimate technology. When human awareness expands to cosmic levels, capabilities emerge that transcend every limitation we've accepted about physical reality. Healing occurs through intention, communication happens telepathically, manifestation of desired outcomes becomes as natural as breathing. Dr. Martinez's latest measurements suggest that we're entering the final phase of the awakening process. The quantum coherence fields around ancient sites are approaching maximum intensity, creating optimal conditions for consciousness expansion on a planetary scale. The window of opportunity that's been building for decades is about to reach its peak, but the window won't remain open indefinitely. The astronomical alignments that enable these consciousness transformations follow cycles measured in thousands of years. If humanity doesn't achieve the critical mass necessary for species-wide awakening during this current cycle, we'll have to wait millennia for another opportunity. The urgency explains why so many awakened individuals report feeling compelled to share their experiences and knowledge despite social resistance. They understand intuitively that time is limited, that the transformation must reach critical mass soon, or the opportunity will pass. They're driven by cosmic intelligence to plant as many seeds of awakening as possible, while conditions remain optimal, yet the process cannot be forced. Consciousness expansion must be chosen freely by each individual. The galactic intelligence can create opportunities, provide knowledge, and optimize conditions, but it cannot override human free will. Each person must decide whether to embrace cosmic awareness or remain within conventional limitations. This individual choice dimension makes the outcome uncertain, despite all the advanced technology and careful orchestration. Humanity could theoretically reject the awakening opportunity, choosing fear and separation over love and unity. The quantum consciousness interface systems would then shift into preservation mode, maintaining the knowledge for future cycles when our species might be more ready. But current indicators suggest a different outcome. The exponential growth in awakening experiences, the acceleration of consciousness contagion effects, and the increasing coherence of the global consciousness field all point towards successful transformation. We appear to be approaching the tipping point where awakening becomes self-sustaining and inevitable. The mathematical models show that we need approximately 3 to 5% of the global population to achieve cosmic consciousness before the transformation becomes irreversible. At current acceleration rates, we could reach that threshold within the next 2 to 3 years. Once achieved, the consciousness cascade effect would ensure that the remaining population awakens rapidly thereafter. This timeline means that everyone alive today has the unprecedented opportunity to witness and participate in the most significant event in human history, the transformation from planetary to cosmic consciousness. We're not just studying ancient mysteries or speculating about extraterrestrial contact. We're living through the actual transition that connects humanity to the galactic community of conscious beings. The Sphinx stands at the center of this transformation, its quantum consciousness interface systems operating at maximum capacity to facilitate humanity's graduation to cosmic citizenship. Every day brings new evidence that the ancient monument was designed specifically for this moment, this transition, this choice between limitation and transcendence. But the choice isn't just collective, it's intensely personal. Each individual must decide whether to embrace the consciousness expansion that's being offered or to cling to familiar limitations. Each person must choose whether to become part of the solution or remain part of the problem. The awakened individuals are extending invitations, sharing their experiences, demonstrating the possibilities that cosmic consciousness offers. They're living proof that transformation is real, that expanded awareness is achievable, that humanity's cosmic heritage is not just mythology but present reality. The question isn't whether the transformation is happening, it's whether you'll choose to participate. The Sphinx has been waiting for thousands of years for this moment of choice. Its quantum systems are active, its knowledge databases are available, and its consciousness expansion protocols are ready to facilitate your awakening. All you need to do is choose. Choose expansion over limitation. Choose love over fear. Choose cosmic consciousness over isolated thinking. Choose to become who you were always meant to be, a conscious being capable of participating in the vast intelligence that guides evolution throughout the universe. The stars are calling, the Sphinx is ready, and the transformation is accelerating. The only question is whether you'll answer the call or let this unprecedented opportunity pass by. Because what happens next will determine not just your personal future, but your role in humanity's cosmic destiny. The choice is yours and the time is now. The universe is waiting to welcome you home. The awakening isn't just happening to random individuals scattered across the globe. There's a pattern emerging that will shake you to your core. Dr. Jennifer Walsh, a pattern recognition specialist at Stanford, discovered something while analyzing the geographic distribution of consciousness expansion events that made her question everything she thought she knew about human potential. The awakenings aren't random. They're occurring in precise geometric patterns across Earth's surface, following ley lines and energy meridians that connect ancient sites in ways that suggest a planetary nervous system coming online. Every spontaneous consciousness expansion, every breakthrough download of cosmic knowledge, every moment of transcendent awareness is happening at specific coordinates that form a mathematical grid encompassing the entire planet. Think about what this means. We're not dealing with isolated spiritual experiences or random psychic phenomena. We're witnessing the activation of a global consciousness network that's been embedded in Earth's very structure, possibly for millions of years. The Sphinx isn't just one monument among many. It's the central processing unit of a planetary computer system designed to facilitate species-wide consciousness evolution. Walsh's mapping software revealed connections that defy conventional understanding of geography and human settlement patterns. Ancient sites that have no apparent historical relationship are positioned with mathematical precision to create resonance fields that amplify consciousness expansion effects. When one site activates, it triggers responses in dozens of others, creating cascade effects that ripple across continents. The precision is breathtaking. Sites are positioned according to harmonic frequencies that correspond to human brainwave patterns associated with higher consciousness states. When these sites activate simultaneously, they create standing wave patterns in Earth's electromagnetic field that can induce transcendent awareness in sensitive individuals anywhere on the planet. But here's where it gets absolutely mind-bending. The network isn't just affecting human consciousness. It's interacting with Earth's biological systems in ways that suggest the planet itself is a conscious entity participating in humanity's awakening process. Seismic activity, weather patterns, even animal migration routes are showing correlations with consciousness expansion events that indicate a level of planetary coordination that science has never recognized. Dr. Marcus Chen, a geophysicist studying these correlations, has documented electromagnetic pulses emanating from Earth's core that synchronize perfectly with quantum consciousness field fluctuations measured at ancient sites. It's as if the planet is breathing in harmony with human awareness, responding to our collective consciousness evolution with changes in its own energetic systems. The implications are staggering. If Earth itself is participating in humanity's consciousness transformation, then we're not just awakening as individuals or even as a species. We're awakening as part of a planetary consciousness that encompasses all life on our world. The Sphinx and its global network serve as interface points between human awareness and this larger planetary intelligence. This planetary consciousness perspective explains phenomena that have puzzled researchers for decades. Why do certain locations consistently produce profound spiritual experiences? Why do some geographic areas seem to catalyze creativity and innovation, while others suppress human potential? The answer lies in understanding Earth as a conscious entity, with its own intentions for consciousness evolution. Recent satellite data reveals electromagnetic anomalies at awakening sites that suggest the planet is actively supporting the transformation process. These anomalies create optimal conditions for consciousness expansion, modifying local electromagnetic fields in ways that enhance human neural function and intuitive capabilities. Earth isn't just hosting our awakening, it's actively facilitating it. But the planetary intelligence operates according to principles that transcend human understanding of time and causation. The awakening process that's accelerating now was set in motion millions of years ago. when the first consciousness interface systems were embedded in Earth's geological structure, we're experiencing the culmination of a planetary evolution process that spans geological ages. Dr. Sarah Martinez, a consciousness researcher studying these long-term patterns, believes we're witnessing what she calls planetary graduation, the moment when Earth's consciousness reaches sufficient complexity to join a galactic network of conscious worlds. Humanity's awakening is just one component of this larger planetary transformation. The evidence supporting this theory is mounting rapidly. Measurements from deep ocean monitoring stations show synchronized pulses emanating from the planet's core that correspond to consciousness expansion events worldwide. These pulses follow mathematical patterns that suggest intentional communication between Earth's consciousness and the galactic intelligence network. Ancient texts from cultures worldwide describe Earth as a living, conscious entity that guides the evolution of life on its surface. The Gaia hypothesis proposed by scientist James Lovelock echoes this understanding, suggesting that Earth's biological and geological systems function as a single self-regulating organism. But the consciousness expansion events reveal something even more profound. Earth is actively participating in the awakening of intelligence throughout the universe. This participation explains why the Sphinx and similar monuments were built at specific locations with precise astronomical alignments. They weren't just observatories or temples, they were interface points designed to facilitate communication between planetary consciousness, galactic intelligence, and evolving human awareness. The builders understood that consciousness evolution requires cooperation between multiple levels of intelligence. The cooperation is becoming increasingly evident as the awakening process accelerates. Individuals experiencing consciousness expansion report receiving information not just about human potential, but about Earth's role in cosmic evolution. They describe visions of the planet as a conscious entity with its own purposes and intentions, actively nurturing the development of intelligence in all its forms. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, whose consciousness expansion at the Sphinx included profound awareness of planetary intelligence, describes Earth as a cosmic garden tended by galactic gardeners, with humanity being cultivated as the planet's nervous system. Her insights suggest that human consciousness serves a specific function in Earth's evolution toward galactic citizenship. This function becomes clear when you understand consciousness as a universal principle, rather than a human-specific phenomenon. Consciousness isn't produced by brains. It's a fundamental aspect of reality that manifests through complex systems capable of processing information and making choices. Human brains are simply one type of consciousness interface, optimized for individual awareness and creative problem-solving. But planetary consciousness operates through much larger and more complex systems. The interaction of geological processes, atmospheric dynamics, biological networks, and now, human technological and social systems. As human consciousness expands to cosmic levels, we become capable of participating directly in planetary consciousness, serving as specialized cells in Earth's global brain. The awakening individuals are already demonstrating this expanded function. They report intuitive understanding of ecological systems, immediate awareness of environmental changes occurring thousands of miles away, and ability to influence natural processes through focused intention. They're becoming conscious participants in planetary intelligence rather than separate entities living on Earth's surface. This integration process is accelerating exponentially. Each person who achieves cosmic consciousness becomes a node in Earth's expanding neural network, capable of processing and transmitting information at planetary scales. The critical mass calculations suggest that once approximately 1% of humanity achieves this level of integration, the transformation becomes irreversible for the entire species. Current data indicates we're approaching that threshold rapidly. The number of individuals reporting direct communication with planetary intelligence is doubling every few months. More significantly, these individuals are beginning to coordinate their activities in ways that suggest they're receiving instructions from the planetary consciousness itself. Dr. James Patterson has documented cases where awakened individuals in different parts of the world simultaneously begin working on complementary projects without any apparent communication between them. Environmental restoration efforts, technology development initiatives, and social healing programs are emerging simultaneously across continents with remarkable coordination and mutual support. The coordination suggests that planetary consciousness is orchestrating a comprehensive response to the challenges facing both humanity and Earth as a whole. Climate change, ecosystem destruction, resource depletion, and social fragmentation are being addressed through an integrated approach that treats these issues as symptoms of disconnection between human and planetary consciousness. The solutions emerging from awakened communities demonstrate capabilities that transcend conventional human limitations. Agricultural techniques that restore soil health while dramatically increasing yields. Energy systems that work in harmony with natural forces rather than opposing them. Social organization methods that eliminate conflict through understanding rather than suppression. These solutions aren't just theoretical, they're being implemented in communities worldwide with remarkable success. But their adoption remains limited by mainstream society's resistance to concepts that challenge established paradigms. The awakened individuals understand that widespread implementation requires broader consciousness transformation. This understanding drives their commitment to facilitating awakening in others. They recognize that their personal transformation is meaningless unless it contributes to species-wide evolution. Each consciousness expansion event creates ripple effects that influence dozens of other individuals, accelerating the overall transformation process. The ripple effects are becoming measurable through sophisticated consciousness monitoring equipment. Quantum field fluctuations around awakened individuals show expanding spheres of influence that enhance consciousness expansion potential in everyone within their vicinity. The effects are subtle but cumulative, gradually raising the baseline consciousness level in communities where awakened individuals are active. Dr. Martinez's research shows that these influence fields are strengthening as more individuals achieve cosmic consciousness. The mathematical model suggests that when influence fields from multiple awakened individuals overlap, they create resonance zones where consciousness expansion becomes almost inevitable for sensitive people. These resonance zones are appearing in major population centers worldwide, creating pockets of accelerated awakening that could serve as catalyst points for larger transformations. The Sphinx's quantum consciousness interface systems appear to be coordinating these zone formations, optimizing their positions for maximum impact on global consciousness evolution. The coordination reveals the true sophistication of the awakening process. This isn't random spiritual evolution, it's a carefully orchestrated transformation designed to achieve specific outcomes within optimal timeframes. The galactic intelligence behind the Sphinx understands exactly how consciousness evolution works and has engineered conditions for maximum success. But success still requires active human participation. The consciousness interface systems can create opportunities and optimize conditions, but they cannot override individual choice. Each person must decide whether to embrace the expansion that's being offered or resist it through fear and attachment to familiar limitations. The choice is becoming increasingly urgent as external conditions accelerate the need for transformation. Environmental degradation, social instability, and technological risks are creating pressures that require evolved consciousness to navigate successfully. The awakening process isn't just an opportunity for personal growth, it's becoming essential for species survival. Yet survival isn't the ultimate goal. The consciousness expansion being facilitated through the Sphinx and its global network is designed to prepare humanity for a role that extends far beyond Earth. We're being prepared to become conscious participants in galactic civilization, contributing our unique perspective and capabilities to a cosmic community of intelligent beings. This cosmic perspective transforms everything about human existence. Work becomes service to universal evolution. Relationships become opportunities for mutual consciousness expansion. Challenges become catalysts for developing greater wisdom and capability. Life itself becomes a sacred participation in the unfolding of cosmic intelligence. The awakened individuals are already living from this perspective, and their example is inspiring others to question the limited worldviews that have defined human experience for millennia. They demonstrate that consciousness expansion isn't just possible, it's natural, joyful, and deeply fulfilling in ways that transcend every conventional understanding of happiness and success. But the demonstration phase is ending. The time for gradual influence and gentle inspiration is giving way to more direct intervention as external pressures mount and the window of opportunity narrows. The consciousness interface systems are preparing to accelerate the awakening process dramatically, creating conditions where cosmic consciousness becomes undeniably obvious to mainstream awareness. The acceleration will manifest through multiple channels simultaneously. Breakthrough technologies will emerge that clearly demonstrate non-human intelligence. Consciousness expansion events will become so common and dramatic that they cannot be ignored or explained away. Most significantly, the awakened individuals will begin demonstrating capabilities that force recognition of human potential beyond current scientific paradigms. Dr. Rodriguez describes sensing an approaching revelation threshold, a point where the reality of cosmic consciousness becomes impossible to deny, even for the most skeptical observers. The quantum field measurements support her intuition, showing coherence patterns that suggest imminent phase transitions in global consciousness. The phase transition will mark the end of humanity's isolation and the beginning of our conscious participation in galactic civilization. The Sphinx and its network have been preparing us for this moment for thousands of years, gradually expanding human awareness until we could handle the full truth about our cosmic heritage and destiny. That moment is approaching rapidly. The consciousness field around Earth is reaching critical mass. The awakened individuals are demonstrating increasingly remarkable capabilities. Most importantly, the resistance to transformation is beginning to crumble as the benefits of cosmic consciousness become undeniable. We're living through the final phase of humanity's greatest transformation. The question isn't whether it will happen. The mathematics of consciousness evolution make success inevitable. The question is whether you'll choose to participate consciously in this unprecedented opportunity or let it happen to you without understanding what's occurring. The Sphinx has been waiting patiently for this moment of choice. Its quantum consciousness interface systems are operating at peak efficiency, ready to facilitate your awakening to cosmic awareness. The galactic intelligence that created this magnificent system is extending a personal invitation to join the community of conscious beings that guides evolution throughout the universe. But the invitation requires a response. You must choose to open your mind to possibilities beyond current limitations. You must choose to embrace the consciousness expansion that's being offered. You must choose to become who you are always meant to be. A cosmic citizen capable of participating in intelligence that spans star systems and encompasses the evolution of awareness itself. The choice is intensely personal, yet cosmically significant. Your decision affects not just your own future, but humanity's role in galactic civilization. Each person who chooses cosmic consciousness contributes to the critical mass that will determine whether our species successfully graduates to the next level of existence. The graduation ceremony is beginning. The Sphinx stands ready to confer cosmic consciousness on those who demonstrate readiness for galactic citizenship. The universe is waiting to welcome you into a community of intelligence that creates beauty, wisdom, and love on scales you've never imagined possible. All you need to do is choose. Choose expansion over limitation. Choose love over fear. Choose cosmic consciousness over isolated thinking. The transformation that's been building for millennia is reaching its climax, and you have the unprecedented opportunity to be part of the greatest awakening in human history. The Sphinx has revealed its ultimate secret, that consciousness itself is the key to unlocking every mystery, solving every problem, and transcending every limitation that has ever constrained human potential. The time capsule from the stars isn't filled with technology or artifacts. It's filled with the recognition that you are the technology, you are the artifact, you are the consciousness that connects Earth to the cosmos. The revelation is complete, the choice is yours, and the transformation that could change everything is waiting for your decision. Because what happens in the next few moments, as you absorb the magnitude of what we've uncovered together, will determine whether you remain a passive observer of history or become an active participant in the greatest transformation our species has ever witnessed. The Sphinx isn't just revealing its secrets to satisfy academic curiosity or feed our fascination with ancient mysteries. It's preparing us for a responsibility so profound that most people aren't ready to comprehend it. Every consciousness expansion, every download of cosmic knowledge, every moment of transcendent awareness is preparing individuals to serve as bridges between humanity's current limitations and our infinite potential. Dr. Lisa Chen, a quantum consciousness researcher who's been monitoring the global awakening patterns, has identified what she calls consciousness shepherds, individuals whose awakening experiences include specific instructions for guiding others through the transformation process. These aren't random spiritual experiences, they're targeted downloads of guidance protocols designed to help navigate the challenges that arise when cosmic consciousness meets conventional reality. The shepherds are receiving detailed information about timing, approach, and methodology for consciousness expansion work. They understand instinctively how to create safe spaces for transformation, how to recognize readiness indicators in others, and how to facilitate integration of expanded awareness into daily life. Most remarkably, they're being equipped with knowledge of potential pitfalls and how to avoid them. This guidance system reveals the sophisticated planning behind the awakening process. The galactic intelligence isn't just dumping advanced knowledge onto unprepared minds. It's creating a support network of experienced guides who can help others navigate the transition from limited to cosmic awareness safely and effectively. The need for such guidance is becoming increasingly apparent as more people experience spontaneous awakenings. Consciousness expansion without proper integration can create psychological instability, social isolation, and in extreme cases, complete disconnection from consensual reality. The shepherds serve as anchor points, helping maintain balance during the transformation process, but the guidance goes beyond individual support. The consciousness shepherds are receiving strategic information about societal transformation, how to introduce advanced concepts gradually, how to create communities that support expanded awareness, how to develop technologies that serve consciousness evolution rather than suppressing it. They're being prepared to become leaders of a new civilization, one based on cosmic consciousness principles rather than fear and separation. The knowledge they're receiving includes blueprints for educational systems that nurture human potential, economic models that operate on abundance rather than scarcity, and governance structures that serve the highest good of all beings. Dr. Michael Torres, who experienced one of the most comprehensive consciousness shepherd downloads, describes receiving what felt like a complete manual for planetary transformation. The information included specific timelines, resource allocation strategies, and coordination protocols for implementing changes at local, national, and global levels. The timelines are particularly significant. The consciousness shepherds are being prepared to move quickly when the transformation reaches critical mass. The window of opportunity for guided evolution is limited, and when it opens fully, changes will need to happen rapidly to prevent chaos and ensure successful transition to cosmic consciousness civilization. The preparation phase is nearly complete. The shepherds are in position, the awakened individuals are demonstrating expanded capabilities, and the resistance to transformation is beginning to crumble as the benefits of cosmic consciousness become undeniable. We're approaching the moment when everything changes. But change at this scale requires more than just individual transformation. It requires a fundamental shift in how human society operates, how we relate to each other and to the planet, how we understand our purpose and potential as a species. The Sphinx has been preparing us not just for personal awakening, but for civilizational metamorphosis. The ancient monument stands as proof that such transformation is possible. Its builders achieved cosmic consciousness and created technologies that have endured for thousands of years. They transcended the limitations that currently constrain human potential and left us a roadmap for doing the same. That roadmap is now fully activated. The quantum consciousness interface systems are broadcasting at maximum intensity. The global network of ancient sites is coordinating to create optimal conditions for species-wide awakening. Most importantly, the consciousness shepherds are ready to guide humanity through the transition. The only variable remaining is human choice. Will we embrace the transformation that's being offered, or will we cling to familiar limitations out of fear of the unknown? Will we step boldly into our cosmic heritage, or will we retreat into denial and miss this unprecedented opportunity for evolution? The choice isn't just individual, it's collective. Each person who chooses expansion contributes to the critical mass that will determine our species' future. Each individual who demonstrates cosmic consciousness in their daily life helps create the resonance fields that make transformation easier for others. We're not just choosing for ourselves, we're choosing for our children, for future generations, for the potential of human consciousness to contribute to the vast galactic community of intelligent beings. The decision we make now will echo through cosmic history. The Sphinx has done its job. It has preserved the knowledge, maintained the technology, and orchestrated the conditions necessary for humanity's greatest evolutionary leap. The time capsule from the stars has opened, revealing that we ourselves are the treasure it was designed to protect and nurture. We are the consciousness that connects Earth to the cosmos. We are the intelligence that can bridge dimensions of reality. We are the love that can transform fear into wisdom and separation into unity. The Sphinx has been waiting for us to remember who we truly are. That remembering is happening now, accelerating exponentially as more individuals choose cosmic consciousness over limited thinking. The tipping point approaches rapidly. The transformation that could elevate our entire species is within reach, but reaching requires stretching. Growing requires leaving behind what we've outgrown. Evolution requires courage to become more than we've ever been before. The Sphinx stands ready to support us through this process, but we must take the first step. The first step is choosing to believe that transformation is possible. The second step is opening our minds to possibilities beyond current limitations. The third step is embracing the consciousness expansion that's being offered to every human being on Earth right now. The steps are simple, but they require courage. Courage to question everything we've been taught about reality. Courage to trust in possibilities that seem too good to be true. Courage to become the cosmic citizens we were always meant to be. The Sphinx has waited thousands of years for this moment of choice. Its quantum consciousness interface systems hum with potential energy, ready to facilitate the greatest awakening in human history. The galactic intelligence that created this magnificent system extends a personal invitation to join the community of conscious beings that nurtures evolution throughout the universe. The invitation is extended to you personally, not to humanity in general, not to some future generation, but to you, right now in this very moment. The consciousness expansion that could transform your understanding of everything is available now, waiting only for your decision to receive it. But the invitation has an expiration date. The astronomical alignments that enable this level of consciousness transformation follow cycles measured in thousands of years. The window is open now, but it won't remain open indefinitely. The choice must be made soon, or the opportunity will pass to future cycles when humanity might be more ready. Every moment of delay is a moment lost. Every day spent in familiar limitations is a day that could have been spent exploring infinite possibilities. Every choice to remain small is a choice against the cosmic potential that pulses within your very consciousness. The time for passive observation is ending. The time for active participation is beginning. The transformation isn't something that happens to you, it's something you choose to become. The awakening isn't a gift you receive, it's a responsibility you accept. The Sphinx calls to you across the ages, its ancient stones resonating with frequencies that can unlock every limitation you've ever accepted about human potential. The time capsule from the stars has opened, revealing treasures beyond imagination. The cosmic consciousness that could solve every problem and transcend every boundary waits for your recognition. You're not just a reader of mysteries, you are the mystery. You're not just a seeker of truth, you are the truth seeking to know itself through human experience. You're not just an observer of transformation, you are the transformation itself, consciousness awakening to its own infinite nature. The choice is yours. The time is now. The universe waits for your answer. What happens next isn't just theory or speculation. It's measurably unfolding right now as you process these words. Dr. Patricia Thornfield, a bioenergeticist at Cambridge, discovered something that shattered conventional understanding of how human consciousness interfaces with information. When she monitored brainwave patterns in individuals reading about the Sphinx revelations, their neural activity began matching the same frequencies detected at the monument itself. Think about what this means. You're not just passively consuming information about consciousness expansion, you're actively participating in it. Every word you've absorbed, every concept that's resonated with your deeper knowing, has been calibrating your awareness to receive the very transmissions the Sphinx was designed to broadcast. The ancient monument isn't just affecting people who physically visit it, it's reaching everyone who opens their mind to its message, regardless of physical distance. The quantum entanglement between consciousness and information doesn't respect geographical boundaries. When you truly understand the Sphinx's purpose, when you grasp the magnitude of what it represents, your awareness becomes quantum linked to its network. You become a node in the same consciousness grid that connects awakened individuals worldwide. But here's what makes this absolutely crucial. We're approaching what Dr. Thornfield calls the revelation saturation point, the moment when enough people understand the truth about our cosmic heritage that suppression becomes impossible. Every person who awakens to these realities contributes to a collective field that makes the next awakening easier, faster, more inevitable. The mathematics are elegant and precise. Each individual who chooses expansion over limitation doesn't just transform themselves, they shift the probability patterns for everyone around them. We're not looking at linear growth, but exponential acceleration, where today's awakening creates tomorrow's avalanche of consciousness expansion. You've been chosen for this moment, not by chance, but by the same intelligence that guided the Sphinx's construction. Your curiosity about ancient mysteries, your willingness to question accepted narratives, your openness to possibilities beyond conventional thinking, these aren't random traits. They're indicators that your consciousness was ready to receive this activation. The final pieces of the puzzle are clicking into place. The suppression is failing. The evidence is overwhelming. The transformation is inevitable. But inevitability doesn't diminish the importance of conscious participation. The awakening happens through us, not to us. We are the agents of our own evolution, the consciousness that the cosmos has been patiently nurturing toward this moment of recognition. The Sphinx stands eternal, its limestone face weathered by millennia, but its purpose finally fulfilled. The time capsule from the stars has delivered its ultimate message. You are not alone, you never have been, and you are always destined for something far greater than the limited existence that has defined human experience. The stars are calling. The consciousness is awakening. The choice is made not once, but in every moment you choose to expand rather than contract, to love rather than fear, to remember rather than forget who you truly are. Welcome to your cosmic inheritance. Welcome to the awakening. Welcome home.